Let us see, O Lord, your mercy and give us your saving help.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "As it was in Noah's day, so will it be when the Son of Man comes. For in those days before the flood, people were eating, drinking, taking wives and taking husbands, right up to the day of Noah went into the ark. And they suspected nothing till the flood came and swept all away. It will be like this when the Son of Man comes. Then of 2 men in the fields, one is taken, one left. Of 2 women at the millstone grinding, one is taken, one left. So stay awake, because you do not know the day when your master is coming. You may be quite sure of this, that if the householder had known at what time of the night the burglar would come, he would have stayed awake and would not have allowed anyone to break through the wall of the house. Therefore you too must stand ready, because the Son of Man is coming in an hour you do not expect." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Good morning, everyone. All good things do come to an end. We have completed the whole season of the year, and we step into what is known as the season of Advent. Kita melangkah masuk kepada musim Advent. And the first week is all about the candle of hope. Everything changes in Advent. The root word of Advent comes from the Latin word adventus, simply meaning coming, arrival, something that's in anticipation. Dalam bahasa Latin artinya kedatangan, sesuatu dalam kehidupan, something that's stepping into your life. Everything changes. For the whole season, we had the whole color of green. The chasuble and the vestments were all in green. Today it's all in violet. Bertukar menjadi warna ungu dalam misa minggu-minggu Advent. Everything changes. As we begin to look at this whole experience of Advent for the coming of Christ, there's one word. As you're waiting for something in life, as you wait, that's the whole word. Kata dasar dalam minggu Advent ini bergantung pada perkataan menanti. We are waiting for something. We are waiting. I'm just going to invite you this morning to step into this word, waiting. Waiting can be very excruciating, can be very painful. Just after the election, we were waiting for the results. And then you went into the agony of waiting for your 10th Prime Minister. It was very painful for many of you, and for me. You know, just waiting and waiting and waiting. And that's when you find yourself in restlessness. You find yourselves in agony of pain and fear. You know, there's so much that is in this waiting. I love to see when people are waiting for food, you know, especially when they place their order at food court. And then the food hasn't come. And they keep waiting. Where's the food? And then they get up and they go back to the stall and says, and then they come back and they're still waiting. You know, there's so much of anxiety and disruption of this anticipation. Even as I'm speaking to you, some of you are waiting when I'm going to finish. That's how waiting is, you know. When is he going to finish? Let's wait. That's all about waiting. You see this. I tell you, you just have to look around people in life. When they are waiting in queue, in a line, there's so much of, you know, human emotions that takes place in that. Just take for a moment if you get to be at the government hospitals or the government institutions. 433 counter A. 434 counter 2. And you're holding your ticket and you're getting all worked up because you want to just move on. Waiting is not easy, my dear friends. Honestly, it's not easy. I keep telling you, waiting is never easy. It's a big challenge in life, in waiting. All of us struggle with this whole experience of waiting, you know. But the most important thing about waiting is there's two ways of looking at it. You can look at it actively or you can look at it passively. Actively is simply doing something about it. For a young couple who's waiting for the firstborn child, they are out there trying to see what's needed for the home and for the babe. A young couple who's moving into a new home, of someone who's getting to a new excitement of a job, there's always that vision and anticipation of expectation of what's lying ahead. And there's so much working in that moment. That's active waiting. Passive waiting is, Mass come, Mass go. Christmas come, Christmas go. All the same, Father. You know. I love standing at the back, you know, before Mass. I'm telling you this. And all I do is I scan people very fast. There are some who are checking their Facebook. There are some who are checking their Instagram. They are in their own world. That's passive. They are not interested in the Mass. It comes, it goes. They are in their own world. Even now, some of you are another world. You know, that's how passive people can be. They just reluctantly just let time pass. Just stop at a bus station. Just stop at the airport. And you will see people in different modes of waiting. There are those who are just checking on the board, waiting when it's on call. There are those who are saying, when it comes lah, Father, just sit down lah. It will come. That's how waiting is. Because the whole experience of Advent is about hope. That's the first candle we lit. Menanti sesuatu itu ada kesimpulannya, pada dasarnya, harapan, menanti sesuatu. But do you find this hope in this first week? That's how we find this. For a young couple, for a person who's entering into a spiritual life, there is always this hope. Something great is going to happen. Something new is about to begin in my life. That's hope. It's a great moment. The readings of Isaiah and Paul to the Romans, renungan bacaan ini penuh dengan renungan dan erti kata what it means to wait dalam harapan, to wait in hope. Because Isaiah says it's now, the time has come. Detik dan saat yang dinanti-nantikan dalam hayat hidupmu sudah pun tiba. Bersedialah, berjaga-jaga. And that's the whole word, stay awake. In spirituality, my dear friends, it's a very, very strong word, stay awake. Because in all of us, deep down in all of us, we have what is called spiritual complacency. One moment you're awake in the church, you're alive with your faith, and the next moment you're on the road, suddenly you're in a different mode. You may be cursing someone, you may get angry with someone, and it's a different mode. And then you switch on back when you're in a moment of prayer. And Jesus tells his disciples, no one knows the hour. Just stay awake in your spiritual life. Because the danger is that you and I may fall into what is known as lukewarmness. Neither hot nor cold. Neither here nor there. And we're just juggling through this whole experience without deep root faith. And that's the struggle of our life in faith. Kata Yesus, berjaga-jagalah, bersedialah. Dengan penuh tekun, dengan penuh ikhlas, isi hatimu untuk kedatangan Yesus. Kerana ada masanya, kita ditarik dengan kebendaan dan duniawi. Hilang pedoman, hilang arah segala yang kita cari dalam hidup ini. Hilang. Kerana cobaan-cobaan, rintangan-rintangan, halangan-halangan dalam hidup itu terus menarik kita ke arah yang berlainan, yang bertentangan dengan Tuhan. It's totally in opposite, in contrast to what God's searching us. And that is why Jesus tells us on the first week, as you're waiting, and you're waiting in anticipation, in expectation, have that great sense of hope and stay awake. Be awake, be alert. Especially when you're on the road, you know, when we speak about life, on this journey on the road. Sometimes we may find ourselves drowsy, you know, sleeping. And if you're not awake, an accident may take place. That's the spirituality of life. Let's ask the Lord the grace as we step onto this first Sunday of Advent in waiting, that we may find hope and stay awake.